is the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded from Detroit, Michigan, and Jacksonville, Florida. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, album reviews, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Why, hello there. It is Russ, and back along with me is Kyle and Michelle. Michelle, did you enjoy your week off?
It was too short.
Yeah, I know. You know what we need to do? We need to start doing 3 episodes and then taking 2-week breaks for you.
Can we?
No. And so, with all 3 of us back, we are ready to follow up on the topic that we had last time. Michelle, what did we talk about when all 3 of us were together last time?
Music.
Honest to God, that's probably your best answer ever. Yeah, so we in fact talked about songs of summer. Is what
it wasn't wrong.
Yeah. So it was in fact music. The last time that we all got together, and so we of course have some feedback from that episode and a couple other things to share when we get into our main topic on this episode in particular, which is going to be in the second half. We are back around to our Kyle. What did you call it on our episode? Is it Totally Epic Cover Battles? Yes. So we are back to a totally epic cover battle, and we are going to have 9 Inch Nails go head to head with Johnny Cash over the song Hurt, which was originally by 9 Inch Nails, and many people know and enjoy the Johnny Cash cover of that. So that's going to be in the second half of the episode. As we get into this first half of the episode, we're going to read your feedback from the Songs of Summer episode. Here it comes.
Feedback, John. Don't worry about that. Right. There's rock and roll be without feedback.
So Sean and Chris wrote in and said, when it comes to Songs of Summer, Fuel by Metallica has to be top for me. It just reminds me of driving in a Mustang with the top down and the pedal down. And
oh, yeah, man, that's a good fucking call there.
Kyle, when this piece of feedback came in, I was like, oh my God, Kyle's so much going to agree with that. Like, I would have never thought of that, but what a great call.
I don't have a convertible, but I damn sure roll the windows down and crank that song.
Would you?
Don't have air.
Would you buy a convertible just for that song?
I would, yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you guys remember this last week, but Michelle, you had said you were getting a bonus week off, and at the very end of the episode, I said Kyle should try and make it a boner week. And Sean and Chris said, Russ, you need to warn us before you drop a line like make it a boner week. I spit out my drink, and now I have a mess to clean up.
Kyle does too.
Right on. Our old friends at the Thanks for Coming, the RuPaul podcast, have a new podcast called the Queer Defense Squad, and they write into us and say, I cannot get the image of Michelle driving around with the windows down, repeatedly being sprayed in the face by sprinklers. I can't stop laughing. I think that alone explains why she doesn't like Smokey Robinson. Also, I'm very happy that Russ approves of the Ataris cover because I love that band. A song of the summer for me is Steal My Sunshine by Len. I have fond memories of family vacations to the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and I couldn't stop listening to that song, which right? Like, I'd Steal My Sunshine for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Detention writes in and says, fist bump to Russ. Summer of 69 is a 10 out of 10 stinker for me. I will go out of my way to avoid hearing that song whenever it appears in my life. And yes, I made it clear last week. For sure. I totally agree with that. Sue Garcia writes in and says, great episode for me. Summer Breeze by Seals and Croft is my number 1 favorite mellow summer song, as well as Ventura Highway by America is another great one. And then I had replied to Detention earlier, and I said that I didn't know that other people hated Summer of 69 and that I was going to start a support group. So Sue replied to that and said, I got tired of that song 38 years ago. It was and still is overplayed. Add me to the support group. So we have a small but mighty group growing against Summer of 69.
I'm sure it'll grow.
Right on. Friend of the show and longtime supporter Chris Adams writes in and says, of more than a few come to mind for me. Van Halen Summer Nights, David Lee Roth, Yankee Rose, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince Summertime, Martha Reeves Dancing in the Street, Kool and the Gang Summer Madness, Go-Go's Vacation, Journey, Stone and Love. All remind me of the summer season, not necessarily the topic of summer, but a certain time, place, or feeling. And we talked about that a lot. I think, Kyle, you had a lot that you were like, people wouldn't say this is like a summer jam, but it's one that reminds you of certain summers, right?
Yeah.
Jamie Porter writes in and says, I can't believe you guys didn't mention Margaritaville. It's not my favorite, but it certainly fits the bill. And anything off of this record. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that song kind of drives me crazy. That's why I never said anything about it.
I concur, but to James's point, like that's that's a summer song. Like you hear
It
it
very much is a summer song, yes.
for sure.
I can make margaritas in the winter.
You can. James goes on to say, for me, anything off of this record equals summertime. It's just a time and a place thing. And he shared the cover of Sublime's self-titled debut record.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which
I
is
could definitely see that.
for sure.
Okay, you made up for it.
Anthony Taylor's version writes in and says to us, first off, before I forget, I listened to the first 2 albums of The Weeknd's The Trilogy set. High for This, House of Balloons, Wicked Games, Lonely Star, Life of the Party, The Birds Part 1 and 2, and Rolling Stone were all favorites of mine. I'm looking forward to hearing the third set from this. The first 2 albums I would definitely rate a solid to 8 out of 10 each, and I'm really glad that Kyle made recommendations for newbies like myself to The Weeknd's music. So how about that, Kyle? That's nice, huh?
High five, motherfucker.
What's that, Michelle?
He did a thing.
Who did a thing?
Kyle.
Did what?
He recommended stuff to people.
We do that every week on the show. We do that every single week on the show.
We do?
Anthony goes on to say, as for your recent Summer Songs episode, many of the songs you named definitely brought back memories for me. As for my personal picks, most songs that I attribute to summer come from movie soundtracks that I grew up listening to back in the 80s. For example, Footloose, Top Gun, Back to the Future, Grease 1 and 2. Individual songs that come to mind would be Hot Summer Nights by Miami Sound Machine, Summer Nights from Grease, and one that Russ is not a fan of, Bryan Adams' Summer of 69, which is also one of the first songs I heard of him, and it made me a fan. And that was also interesting to learn on your show that Rob Thomas Smooth was written originally for Mick Jagger. Lastly, props to my favorite plot twisting podcaster, Michelle, for her bold statement on Smokey Robinson. Well, while I do like some of Smokey's music, what little she did have to say was too funny, and I did not see it coming. There you go.
Wild card.
yeah. You are.
You know, I do agree about that Grease song too, man. That's definitely a summer song.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see here. Richie, our friend over at Super Media Brothers, writes in and says, great episode and discussion as always. For me, Get Lucky and One More Time by Daft Punk are 2 bangers of the summer. For sure, by the way. On both of those, One More Time and Get Lucky.
100%.
Get Lucky was everywhere over the summer of 2013, and One More Time feels like the official kickoff of summer for me. Both are total feel-good tracks and can always transport me right to where I was in 2013 and 2000, respectively.
You know, one that we didn't mention too is what the hell is that Robin Thicke song that he got sued for?
Blurred Lines?
Yeah, goddamn, that is a summer song.
For sure. I totally agree with that.
I also had a CD burned with just that song on it.
Oh, that wouldn't. I'm probably the one who burned it, I'd guess.
Yeah, that was before I think I only had a CD player in my car. So
right. The Docking Bay podcast writes in and says, great idea for a discussion. A few summer songs for me are The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy, Santa Monica by Everclear, Ruby Tuesday by the Rolling Stones, Crosstown Traffic by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. They might not make sense to others, but they do to me. And again, that's what we were saying. There's some that are universal that everybody agrees on, and then there's ones that remind you personally of a time and a place in summer, right?
absolutely.
I'm going to hopefully pronounce this correctly. Sean Niehoff gets at us on Twitter and says, I'm a new listener to the show, and some songs of summer for me are The Joker by Steve Miller Band, Summer Nights by Van Halen. Yeah, for sure, by the way, on Joker by Steve Miller. Summer Nights getting the nod again from Van Halen. I'm surprised I didn't mention that one on the program, so I'm glad it got a couple of nods. And then actually, I think the same person that mentioned Van Halen Summer Nights mentioned this, the same that Sean does, Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Lastly, Chicago Mike chimes in and says, a few of mine would be U.S. Blues by the Grateful Dead, Why Can't This Be Love by Van Halen, Moondance by Van Morrison, Dreams by Beck, Plush by Stone Temple Pilots, and these are just some random tunes that remind me of summer. Yeah, I would go with a lot of those as well. Like, I'm not a huge Dead guy, but I get all of those reminding people of summer.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Van Halen guy either, but that is my favorite Van Halen song.
Which, Why Can't This Be Love?
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago at karaoke, I had the bright idea after many rounds to try and sing Love Walks In for the first time ever in karaoke. And little known fact, that'll be the only time I ever try and sing that song on karaoke. We do have a voicemail from our family at Odd Pods Media, and I'm going to play that for us right now.
Hey, this is Aaron from BFYTW, calling to wish Russ a very happy birthday. I just found out he has the same birthday as me. It's my birthday, too. Happy birthday to me. That's amazing. Anyway, just showing some love, man. Hope your birthday was extraordinary. Take it easy. Much love from all of us over at BFYTW, and we will catch you guys next time.
So I thought that was awesome. that we got a voicemail from Aaron at BFYTW about my birthday. And I will tell you, they are family members of ours from Odd Pods Media. They do a game show style podcast, which is hilarious. And they have been wanting for over a year to get the three of us on their show, like as a team against another podcast as a
You
team.
didn't say it was a game show. Of course I'm going to go on a game show.
Right. So I'm going to try and shore that up, like find a time where we can all three go on there, because the games they play are just hilarious. They're great.
Do you think that my voicemail for my birthday is in the mail?
When this voicemail came in, I looked at Lauren and I said, Michelle is going to ask why she didn't get a voicemail from anybody.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It was only 36 this year. Not a big birthday. It's fine.
Moving right along. Our jammies. Easing on into our next segment, our jammy jams. And I'm starting with me, because it was my birthday last weekend, as you just heard. And for my jammy jams, this is kind of interesting for me. I, for the last about 2 weeks or so, have been listening to a metric shit ton of Billy Joel and Elton John. But I grew up when you pretty much knew both of those cats for their work in the 80s and subsequently the 90s. So for Elton John, I grew up on I'm Still Standing. I guess that's why they call it the blues, leading up to and then on from like Can You Feel the Love Tonight, right? And then Billy Joel, I grew up on The Longest Time, Uptown Girl, leading up to like I Go to Extremes, We Didn't Start the Fire, River of Dreams, that type of stuff. And I'm well aware that both of these cats had strong or stronger careers in the 70s, but I've never really dug into much other than like the big hits. So like I know Piano Man and I know Candle in Wind, but I don't really know like much of either of those cats other than those two things from early in their career. So the last couple of weeks I've been like really digging into a whole bunch of stuff that I'd never either never heard before or just really never gave the time of day. So I've been listening to a lot of that stuff, and I found a whole bunch of stuff out that I didn't even know before. Like I always think of Billy Joel's drummer as Liberty DeVito because I thought he drummed on everything, but I found out that Ronnie Tutt, who was Elvis's drummer, played on a couple of Billy Joel songs and stuff. So it's been a fun ride for me. So for the playlist, I'm going to pick out a bunch of those songs from Elton and Billy from before I was used to them for my stuff. So that has been mine. And Michelle, you get to go last. Kyle, what are your Jamie Jams?
You're so mean.
This week, it's been a whole lot of Gucci Mane.
New material?
Gucci Mane.
What?
Kyle, I'm going to ask you to do what I do, and that is just ignore and move on.
Jesus Christ.
So,
my
new
God.
material,
Yeah.
Kyle, or?
Yeah, he's known for his compilation albums where he did like this dude has more music put out than mostly any artist that you can think of. And he has an album called So AC Boys. It's the deluxe version of it. I don't know what the hell the regular version is, but I was listening to the deluxe version, and it's called So AC Boys, and it's just it's a compilation of a bunch of him and featuring a shitload of different artists that you may or may not have ever heard of.
Right on. But you talk a lot too. I don't mean to cut you off, but you talk a lot too about how established rappers use their platform as a jumping off point for a lot of younger guys. Like I feel like on this show, you've talked about, you may not have heard of this rapper yet, but he appeared on a bunch of tracks for Kanye or whatever. Right. So like, is it possible that if we haven't heard of people on this stuff,
he's Gucci Mane is very, very well known for using his platform to put people on. Like, I mean, there's big rappers that are out now that started with him, and he goes and finds these guys and puts them on his albums, and they blow up and become something.
So it's not like when you hear this, you're not like, oh, I've never heard of this guy, and there's a reason. You're like, oh, I've never heard of this guy, and I'm glad I have now.
Yeah, he knows what the fuck he's doing. There's a reason why he puts who he puts on all of his stuff, and a lot of these guys turn out to be big, huge, acts eventually.
Right on. So that record a lot, and anything else, or have you? I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of diversity on there, anyways.
I did dig into the new Post Malone album.
Oh, how is it?
12 Karat Toothache. And it's different than his other stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
It's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah, because it's so. His other stuff is poppy, but like this is like very, very poppy.
He didn't go like full rock.
No, it's just very pop. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just.
I'm a couple seconds behind. Michelle, did you just say bad?
there's a lot of people out there hating on it, and then there's like some big names that have thought that it was like
there's a person on this very show hating on it.
Yeah. Listen, Michelle hates Post Malone because she doesn't like his face tattoos. That's literally the only
Which
reason
is
why.
insane.
Yes.
On account of the industry that you work in, Michelle.
You don't know.
What'd you say?
I said on account of the industry she works in. She works in the tattoo industry.
Why I hate them. Anyways, I
are going to let Kyle keep talking about his jammy jams.
What the fuck?
So I don't like him because of his face tattoos, but I also don't like his music.
Okay, good. Kyle, would you like to tell us more? Yeah, tell us more about your Post Malone the record. So it's going to take more for you to get used to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot. I guess his other records are very, very similar to one another. And this is less. I don't know. Maybe he was just experimenting with different things. It's just more poppy sounding. More. You could like head in the direction of like Justin Bieber type music. I guess you could say.
Shit. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, it's there's people out there that have been hating on it, like a lot of big like music tabloids and shit, been saying shit about it. But there's also been a lot of people in the industry saying that it's his best work to date. So I mean,
right on.
Yeah.
Well, once you've had more
industry, you
what?
I said, are the people in the industry you?
No.
Do this, Kyle, and I like. It's not like I have to tell you to do this or anything. Spend some more time with it and report back to us in a couple of weeks. Like good, bad, or indifferent. Like if you end up being like, you know what, this is trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, either way,
I intend to dig further into it. I've only listened to I listened to it all the way through one time so far.
Right on. It's the moment at least she's been waiting for. Michelle, what are your jammy jams?
I have so many jammy jams because we've been gone for 3 weeks.
1 week.
2 weeks.
One. But go on.
Oh my God.
1 week, 3 weeks. Same thing. So Michelle, you acquired
tomato potato.
Are you saying you acquired as many as 2 jammy jams in the weeks in the week that you've been off?
3.
Will you please share your jammy jams with us now?
So the first one is something I can't put on the playlist, but Kaleo's first record that I don't know how to get people to listen to it because you can't.
Great.
But I put it on for Kyle the other day because I don't think he's heard it, and I fell in love with it all over again.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite Kaleo record, but it's definitely fun to see how they've grown.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to hear it, you can just call Michelle and she'll play it for you over the phone.
She'll make you a mixtape.
Yeah, I'll hold up my tape recorder to the record player.
Yeah, that'll work.
So I have been listening to that, but unfortunately I can't share that with people unless you want to go to Iceland and buy their first record.
Well, you're starting off great. What else do you got? Wait for you to be like, also Zoe was singing the other day. I can't share that.
I did record it. Then I was wondering what Noah Cyrus has been up to because I really like that EP that she put out. And then I was like, whatever happened to her? And then I realized she's done some other things and I just missed it. So there's a album that came out last year with somebody named PJ Harding, who I've never heard of before.
Harding or Harving?
Harding.
Okay.
And it's called People Don't Change.
PJ Harvey is very famous.
Oh, no. PJ Harding.
Okay.
It's another EP. It's only 6 songs. EP? LP.
EP.
Okay.
PP.
PP. It's only 6 songs, but I really like it. And I think that my next step is to dig into more of PJ Harding because I really do dig what their sound is together. And so I want to see what he does on his own.
That's rad. Good.
So I'm going to put some songs from that on the playlist. And then, of course, because we were listening to Johnny Cash this week, I had to listen to American 4 and specifically The Man Comes Around like 100 times.
The title track.
Also, yes, but also a lot of the record, I kept putting it on over and over and over again just to hear Hurt, but then I would just let it play.
We'll probably get into it more, but man, that and then God's Gonna Cut You Down from American 5. Holy cow. Like,
yeah, I thought I had American 4, but I don't. And then I remembered that's the one I bought you.
You did.
And I was really sad when I went to go pull it to put it on.
It's back in print now. It's in. You can find a common pressing of it for like $20 now.
You know what I have is a $25 gift certificate to Dearborn.
What? Somebody must really love you. You should go get American 4. The Man Comes Around on vinyl because you can get it.
I actually found the perfect record that I need to use that gift card for. I'm glad that I held on to it.
So help me God if next week you're like, oh no, I never went. You should go. You should go and get that. They have a location on the way home from your work now.
When I drove by, they were closed.
Yeah.
There was no parking.
There is parking. I've been there. So, but anyways, that record too, in the title cut on The Man Comes Around, right from the start, when like literally as soon as you hit play, Johnny Cash is quoting scripture in your face. It's great.
And usually I don't like it when people preach at me, but
that's true.
Johnny Cash is the exception to the rule.
Yeah, well, as you do. All right. Those were our Jammy Jams, and we so much appreciate all the feedback that we got and everything. Everybody gets at us on pretty much all three platforms now, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and people write us messages directly through our website. And then if you want to be like Aaron, or if anybody wants to wish Michelle either a belated birthday, or if you want to get ahead of the game and wish her happy birthday for next year, you can do that at 313-364-9899. And we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to get into a cover battle, a totally epic cover battle. I'm going to have Nine Inch Nails go head up against Johnny Cash. Get through that whole discussion when we come back. You're listening to the Infectious Groove podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hi, I'm Tina Jaramillo.
And I'm Hillary Doherty.
And we host the Muck Podcast, where we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics.
Hey, Tina, did you know that Elvis crashed the Nixon White House for the sole purpose of getting a DEA badge? And it worked?
What? Or how a gun control advocate senator out of California engaged in gun trafficking with notorious gang leader Shrimp Boy?
Shrimp Boy, I remember him. Okay, so, we cover all of that and more from maladies, madness, mischief, and murder in U.S. politics.
And we also host a bi-weekly interview segment called Lil Muck.
We interview politicians, journalists, activists, and others who share their experiences in politics.
Find the Muck Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and check us out on social media at the Muck Podcast.
Hey, you there. We've got a question for you. Are you tired of clickbait stories and the loudest voices driving discussions in culture and entertainment?
If so, I'm Dylan.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Corey. And we host the podcast From the Middle. We're middle-class guys living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle.
We take a more reasonable and centrist approach in our discussions covering genres like comedy, culture, entertainment, and interviews, with really interesting folks like business owners, comic creators, doctors, news anchors, New York Times best-selling illustrators, professional stand-up comics, and more. We really value a relaxed and conversational podcast, one that we hope is so fun and laid back, you'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
So search at From the Mid Pod, just like it sounds, or check us out everywhere you can find podcasts.
We are back. It's Russ, it's Kyle, and Michelle, and we are going into a totally epic cover battle, which is a new segment we started not that long ago, and so new that I have yet to come up with a really cool drop for it, but I'm gonna come up with a really cool drop for the totally epic cover battles, because we have one for our album reviews and so on and so forth. But when we started this segment, we started it off with Guns N' Roses versus the Rolling Stones, and this week we are going to go into one of the ones that I think is probably a big public debate and has been for a long time, and that is the song Hurt, which was originally released by Nine Inch Nails and years later, surprisingly to most, covered by Johnny Cash. And so as we do, when we start off this segment, I'll share a little bit about each version of the song, how it came to us, how it was covered, and so on. And then Michelle will be shocked and, learning along with the rest of us about all these things I have to say. Nine Inch Nails' Hurt came to us originally on the album The Downward Spiral, which was released in 1994. The actual song was released as a single in April of 1995, and then it went on to be nominated for the Best Rock Song Grammy in 1996. So from it being released on its original album through the single release through the Grammy, the song was around for quite a while in its regular state when it was initially released to the public. And then Johnny Cash came along and covered it on his 2004 album, American 4, The Man Comes Around, which was in a series of, there's 6 albums total, just called the American series, where Johnny redid some of his, I don't think Folsom Prison or anything like that is on there, but he redid some of his original songs in far more stark, way more stripped down versions of the songs. than they initially were. He covered everything from Soundgarden to Depeche Mode to Simon and Garfunkel. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers played as the backup band on at least 2 of the records in the American series. So initially he did not want to do this song, Hurt by Nine Inch Nails, because it was just such a completely different style from what he did. But he did end up making it into his own style and put it on that record, and it was released as a single. And not only that, but there was a music video for it, which is considered by many to be one of the greatest music videos ever made. It's always in the discussion of like the top 5 or 10 music videos. Whenever you see any sort of countdown, it always comes up in the conversation. So that is a little bit of background on each version of it. And how we do this when we go through this, we discuss a little bit about each version and what we like and don't like, and then we get into what we think are our favorite and why. And Michelle put a twist on this that we didn't have initially, and we added it in the first version. And I think it's a really cool twist to put on it. We end up saying like which version we would recommend to people, which might, I might like a certain version for a certain reason, but I might recommend a totally different version of the song for someone else to check out. So that is something that we added on. So having said that, Michelle, I'm pretty sure your answer is going to be nothing at all, but I'm going to ask you the question to start this round. What do you like about the original version of Hurt by Nine Inch Nails?
I do like the song. I wish it was about 3 minutes shorter.
Like you wish every song was 3 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
But Nine Inch Nails is one of those bands that I sleep on that I shouldn't. I really like Trent Reznor, and I enjoy a lot of his solo work or with Atticus Finch, and I really think that he's extremely talented. And every time I hear this version or hear Hurt, I'm reminded of it, and I need to explore Nine Inch Nails more. This is the song for me that like is Nine Inch Nails. Does that make sense? Like when I think of Nine Inch Nails, like this is the song that comes to mind immediately. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I don't dislike Nine Inch Nails at all. I think that I don't know enough about it, so I really do enjoy the song. And I don't know. I don't want to go on too long.
Right? Yeah, but there is a lot to like about it. And actually, that's a great point that you say. Now, I would tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like most people, when they think of Nine Inch Nails, the first thing that would come to mind is Closer.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you think? Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
I mean, however, Closer and Hurt are on the same record. They're on the Downward Spiral.
Mm-hmm. I think that probably Hurt comes to mind because I also enjoy the Johnny Cash version.
Sure. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Whenever anybody mentions it, either way, that's the first song that I think of.
Yeah. I can hear that.
What would you call Nine Inch Nails? Like
industrial rock. Yep. They were like the innovators of that genre, literally.
So industrial rock is something that I don't know a lot about, but every time I hear it, I like it. So I think that maybe I should dig into industrial rock a little more.
I could not agree more.
Trent and the gang has provided you with a plethora of albums to dig into. They literally have a shitload. So
would you say that Tool's industrial rock?
No.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't know. Okay, I mean, it's fine. It's fine to have differing opinions on that. That's fine.
Yeah, they're along the same lines. Do you like Tool too, or no?
I do like the things I've heard from Tool, but I feel like they run into the same problem where their songs are too long.
Oh boy. Kyle, what do you like about the original version of Hurt?
So for the longest time, I thought that it was Nine Inch Nails covering a Johnny Cash song.
Yeah, I've heard. No, you're not alone in that. A lot of people think that.
Just because, like, why? Like in my head, I'm like, why in the holy hell would Johnny Cash cover Nine Inch Nails? That would never cross my mind of happening. Then when I started to get into Nine Inch Nails and listening to them a lot, I was like, holy shit! Like this started from Trent's brain, not from Johnny's brain.
Correct. Yep.
I love this song in general, and I think that they do a very, very, very great version of it.
One of the things that I love about this, and now Kyle, if you're well versed in Nine Inch Nails now, then you would probably agree with this. I think that Hurt is more indicative of what the rest of the Downward Spiral than the song Closer is. Okay, so you know how somebody goes and buys the Marshall Mathers LP, and they think the entire record is going to be the real Slim Shady, and then they hear Criminal and Amityville and Kim. Right. And they're like, oh, no. So I feel like a ton of people bought the Downward Spiral hoping it was going to be Closer 15 times in a row. And the rest of the record is far more sprawling and intense than the song closer is, in my opinion. So that's one thing I love about this song is that if somebody was going to say to me, like Michelle, if you weren't into Nine Inch Nails like at all, and you said, hey, I want to look into Nine Inch Nails, where should I start? I would start you with this song.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. Can I ask a dumb question?
You can. You do often.
Is Nine Inch Nails like Dashboard Confessional? Is
Yes.
it just like Trent
Yes.
Reznor and some other people?
Yes. Although for me personally, it's a big deal because some other people includes Robin Fink, who is one of my favorite guitar players of all time. And
But all the time, or is he just on some of the albums?
No, yeah, I don't think there's any Nine Inch Nails record with the same lineup on it. Like there's guys that have appeared on more than one record, like Robin has, but I don't think it's ever been the same. Like the first record, Pretty Hate Machine, is all Trent. Like had like a whole Something I Can Never Have, Terrible Eye, all that. That's all Trent.
Yeah, you should, Michelle. You should dig into Nine Inch Nails more because Trent Reznor is he's a literal music genius. Like very, very high on the scale of knowing what the fuck is going on when it comes to music.
For sure.
Yeah. We watched that documentary about him, I think, or an episode of a documentary that had him on it.
Yeah, it was about Closer, wasn't it? It was dissecting that song.
Super intelligent dude, too. So for me, another thing that I like about the original version is it gets super intense at the end of the song. Like it gets really, really, really intense by the time where Trent's pretty much screaming that you can have it all and that type of thing. And to me, the stakes of the song are raised more organically by the person who lived it than Johnny Cash, who is very successfully taking the song and trying to make it his own. I feel like the stakes are more organic in the Nine Inch Nails version because it's being sung by the person who lived it.
You know how I looked at it though is like, so when Trent sings it, it's about, he's writing about fucking whatever, being burnt out and, and he's, I don't even know how old he was in 94 or whatever the hell, but he's a very, very young compared to Johnny Cash.
Sure.
So then you have Johnny Cash do it and he's very much talking about the same thing, but a whole lifetime lived past what Trent did to have experienced all that like heartache and like bullshit that comes with everything.
Right. Okay. So that leads us into what we like about the cover. And I'm going to go first on that. And I'll get my only negative out of the way. I love everything about the cover except for the production. I am not the Rick Rubin praiser that everyone else is. I think Rick Rubin has a ton of faults as a producer, and they are on full display in this cover of Hurt by Johnny Cash. There is absolutely no reason for everything in this song to be redlined and at top volume, and the distortion in the guitar and the distortion in Johnny Cash's voice, which is a national treasure. That's Rick Rubin trying to manufacture urgency on a vocal that shouldn't be there. Johnny Cash, like what you just said, Kyle, Johnny Cash has got 80 years on his voice at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the urgency is there. If you just put Johnny Cash in front of a microphone and a trash can, you're going to get the urgency and the desperation that you need to sing the song. It doesn't need Rick Rubin pushing the volume fader up. So everything but the production. And I love that. Now, this is directly to your point, Kyle. For me, Johnny Cash singing this song is similar in many ways to Elvis singing Bridge Over Troubled Water, or I just Can't Help Believing, or You Lost That Love and Feeling. Elvis was taking those songs that were written completely about someone else's life and directly applying them to all the heartache that was going on in his life at that time. And you can hear Johnny Cash singing this song, thinking like what you said, instead of he's going through it like Trent was, you can tell that Johnny Cash is singing this retrospectively, right? Like introspectively.
It's a been there, done that perspective of the song.
Right.
Yeah, it's what you get is a withering old man who has spent his entire life in the music industry conveying all of the exact things that Trent was conveying, but in past tense.
Right, yeah, in the rearview mirror. Yeah.
Yes.
Michelle, what do you like about the cover of Hurt?
I like that it's not as long.
That's not what she said.
I prefer Johnny Cash's voice to Trent Reznor's on this particular track. I haven't heard Johnny Cash sing any other Nine Inch Nails songs. So.
Right, yeah. Who knows if his version of Closer might be fire. Who knows?
He does a fantastic rendition of Closer. You should check it out.
March of the Pigs or Wish. Step right up. March. So it's shorter, and you like John Cash's voice better now. But were you at all? Was the production bothersome to you on his voice? Because
I didn't even realize it was an issue until you mentioned it.
Have I ruined it for you?
You ruined it. Something that's always stuck in my mind is when we watched that. I don't remember what it was. Something about Closer, where they deconstruct the song and they talk to Trent about it, and he says that he didn't like the way his vocals sounded, so he liked to bury them in the mix.
Right.
And I can hear that now when I listen to the song.
Right.
And I guess maybe if no one had ever pointed it out to me, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But for that reason, I like the Johnny Cash version better. I just feel like I do think that Trent sings the very end with a little bit more feeling, but
the intensity at the end is just insane.
Yeah. No, you're right. And that's probably my favorite part of the song, is that when he starts yelling. But I think overall, for the Johnny Cash version, I think when you think about his life and what he went through, and then he's singing the song, I feel like, I don't know. It gives me more backstory and more feeling behind it.
Right.
For the entire song for Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
But that's because I know more about him. So I don't know.
So if we ask you again in 6 months, after you've had some time to listen to it, oh, that's right. In 6 months, you'll just be like, oh, I meant to listen to Nine Inch Nails, but I didn't.
So it would have the same effect as when Trent Reznor performs this song when he's 70 years old. It will very much have the same kind of twist that it did when Johnny Cash.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, listen for the follow-up episode in season 400 of the Infectious Group podcast. Well, maybe 450, depending on how many breaks Michelle has to stake. Kyle, I know you were biting the bit to get in there, and you had more than a few points. What do you like about the cover, brother?
It's so. I don't really pay attention to the production of it very much because I just assume that Rick Rubin did that shit on purpose to make it sound.
He did.
Yeah. However he was trying to convey it, whatever. It's so interesting when you listen to the two. And like I was saying, like one is in the moment and the other one is like looking back at that moment. Yeah. It's just crazy that the same exact song, but because one artist is, light years older than the other one, it gives it a totally different perspective and feeling to it. And
sure.
I can't even pick one over the other. I like them both equally because it's such a different perspective of the same exact thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Michelle last week. Yes, you do have to choose, and we're coming there in a second. And I'm only going to touch on the production one more time because Kyle mentioned it, and I promise I'm going to let this go. Here's my problem with the production. When the Johnny Cash version starts, the volume that the guitar is at and the volume that Cash's voice is at is all that's needed. You have the two things you need right there to make this song sound as intense and emotional as it needs to. The song does not need Rick Rubin pushing the faders up at the end. It just doesn't. And that's my problem with the production. And I get what he was going for. I understand that he's trying to manufacture the distortion so that...
Yeah, but like you say, you don't need to manufacture...
because you have...
Johnny Cash. Yeah. You have who you're looking for. You don't need to manufacture
exactly.
it.
To me, that's like going to buy a hammer at the hardware store, bringing it home, and then casing it in cement before you do anything else. Like
I literally thought you said going to buy a hamburger at the hardware store.
Well, no, yeah. Hey, I think you can still get hot dogs at Home Depot. So
you cannot.
That's a bummer. But you know what I mean? Like
I'm gonna go back and
like you bought a utensil that already does the thing you want it to do, and then you did unnecessary things to it, and it doesn't do it any better. That's how I feel about what Rick Rubin did on the production of this cut.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, because he is who he is and he has the say that he has, he was able to do whatever he wanted.
And
so
why on earth he has that say is beyond me. I'm sorry, Michelle, did you have a point you were going to try and sneak in there, or did your mind immediately go to hot dogs at Home Depot?
Unfortunately, I don't remember what I was going to say.
Oh.
But we can't still get hot dogs at Home Depot?
The Rona took it away.
Okay, so we are going to get...
Wait.
So you do have a point. Go on.
It wasn't a point so much as now you're going to make me go back and re-listen to it, and now I'm going to hate the song. So I appreciate that.
It's literally the least I can do. Okay, so we're going to move into what is your favorite and why. Because Kyle already said he's having such a hard time with this, we're going to make Kyle go last. I will throw out there this. First of all, this is splitting the finest of hairs. for me. I want to make that clear. And not for me. I think for a lot of people, this is splitting two very fine hairs. For me, when I say that one of this or the other is a favorite of the one I prefer, I mean exactly that. Like if you were to say to me, do you want to hear the song Hurt? I would tell you that I want to hear this version. And if you, for this particular discussion, if you were to say, oh, well, can we hear this other one? I wouldn't be like, no, like I would be sure, whatever, play that one. But if you ask me which one I want to hear first, for me, I would rather hear the original first. And I know that I'm alone on that. It's the overall production and it's the fact that the intensity is there without being manufactured is why I would want to hear the original version of Hurt first. But again, I want to be clear because we have a whole bunch of these cover battles that we're going to do. And there are a lot of them that if you were to say, which version of this song do you want to hear? I would say this. And you say, do you mind if I play this version? And I would be like, please do not. Like, I want to hear this version, right? With this, if you said, hey, I'm going to put on Hurt, and I would say, oh, play the Nine Inch Nails version. And if you said, well, can I play the Cash version? I wouldn't be like, no. I'd be, oh, okay, whatever, play that version. That's fine. So for me, I'm going with the original on this. Michelle, where are you at?
So, honest to God, depends on the day.
Okay.
But
How about today?
Yeah, let's say it was, I don't know, the day we're in a fantasy world, let's say it was the day we're recording the show. What would you say? Totally hypothetical. No, and it's fine. It's fine. You're not saying the other one sucks.
No, I know. So my gut instinct says the original, but then I remember that it's too long.
If only Trent Reznor had shaved a mere 30 seconds off of this.
If Trent Reznor hears this, he's going to be shaking his fucking head.
He's going to be so mad.
Slamming his fist on the fucking...
No, he's going to be mad. He only has himself to blame, Kyle. It's him that made the song too long for Michelle. It's not Michelle's fault he made the song too long for her.
The original. I'm going Nine Inch Nails.
Wow. I honestly, hand to God, I'm stunned. I'm pleasantly surprised by that.
Are you shook?
I'm shooketh. Kyle, it is time you have to make a decision. Which one do you want to hear? Okay. If I grab my phone and I go, hey, I'm going to put on Hurt, who do you tell me to play?
After careful consideration, I am going with Trent's version.
I'm stunned and amazed by this.
So,
and for what reason?
Because that's his baby, man. He created what that was. And though Johnny Cash masterfully put his swing on it and made it what it is when he sung it, that came out of Trent's brain. That was his baby. And I very, very much like the production that he used for what he was doing with it. I mean, I like all of the stuff he did.
Trent.
Anyways, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah. I mean, so talking about a dude that made his first record by himself in a dorm room. Like he knows his way around turning the knobs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. And like I said, if someone asked me, what version of this should I listen to? I would say, listen to Trent's version. And then if you want to hear why covers are important for certain songs, listen to Johnny's version. Okay.
So that leads us into the last point, which Michelle brought up, which I'm totally serious. I think is awesome that you brought this up, Michelle, because it does put a twist on things. So Kyle, if someone was going to say, I've heard of the song Hurt, I've heard there's two versions, which one should I listen to? You would tell them still listen to the original first and then go.
Yes. And then immediately afterwards listen to
yeah, literally like back to back.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of covers that are not good. And I think a lot of people get stuck in those, like they end up hearing covers of songs and like, oh, this sucks. Like, that's why I hate covers, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a great example of why you should give covers a chance, because if they're done properly, they can sound like a completely different song by a completely different artist and still be amazing.
We have those on the list, by the way. We have some coming up in the battles that are completely different takes on the same song. So those will make for interesting discussions as well. Michelle, where do you stand? So someone walks up to you and says, I heard about this song Hurt. Somebody told me it's a Nine Inch Nails song Johnny Cash did. Which one should I listen to? Which one are you playing for him first?
100% Nine Inch Nails.
Really?
I just feel like you have to understand and hear the original to not necessarily to appreciate, but like it makes Johnny Cash's version so much better than if you were to just hear it cold without like hearing Trent's version first. So I think that it would do a disservice to Johnny Cash's version if you didn't listen to the original first.
That's fair. I am surprised I'm surprised in reverse. I was surprised that all three of us picked the Nine Inch Nails version. And now I'm surprised because I'm the only one that picked Cash that I would recommend to someone else. But I typed this. I typed Cash. And the only thing I typed was because the next generation needs to remember what a stone cold badass this cat was.
Oh, fuck. You're right.
So
yeah, I would recommend anyone listen to anything older. When Johnny Cash started to get older is when you can just hear it and God's gonna cut you down and all those songs are just like
Man Comes Around,
coming to terms with the life that he lived, and God damn it, it is so good. And Hurt falls into that category too. He did his goddamn thing with it.
This is slightly off topic, but my personal favorite cover on all of those American records is Personal Jesus. He covers Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode.
Fantastically. Yes.
Okay, but let me tell you why that cover blows my mind. So Kyle, when you talk about Hurt, right? We don't need to skirt around it. We're all adults here. We're talking about heroin addiction, right? That's what this song is about. Okay, and so Cash lived it. Trent was in it. We covered all that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you listen to Johnny Cash singing Personal Jesus is about the emotional manipulation that went on between Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley, and how that's what Depeche Mode wrote that song about. And it's about how no matter what Elvis was out doing, Priscilla would put up with it because every time she called him on the phone, Elvis could talk his way out of it. Okay. And that's what that song was written about. So here you have Johnny Cash covering a song that's about two people he was good friends with. He knew, you know what I mean? That's why that cover is mind blowing to me. It's like this dude is singing this song written by this electronic band, a pop dance band that was written in a big hit that happens to be about two people he was friends with,
that's crazy.
It's mind blowing to me,
Do you think that it was mind blowing to Depeche Mode or to Trent Reznor that Johnny Cash knew who they were to cover their song?
I would say to a certain extent. Yeah. I mean, you have to remember a lot of this stuff was brought to Cash by Reuben or Tom Petty or Mike Campbell.
I just ruined it.
Jeff Lynne. But no, but what I'm saying is Cash still, it wasn't like it wasn't like he did Teen Spirit. He didn't just do a song and be, oh, well, this will be hip with the kids. He did songs he did. Okay, let me make it more specific. He didn't do Just Can't Get Enough or Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode. He did the song by them that was about two people that he knew.
So beyond that, it makes me wonder if he could relate to that because of his relationship with June.
Oh, for sure.
He was able to connect with that even deeper beyond knowing who the song was about because he had the exact same type of back and forth that they did with June when they were married.
And you look at the track listing of it, Bridge Over Troubled Water and Seven Bridges Road and all those things, and even the religious songs that are God's Going to Cut You Down or the man Comes Around. Those are all Cash standing by his beliefs till the end. Just being like, hey, I realize it's not cool to be a Christian, but this is what I do.
And the man comes around. It shows up in a bunch of movies and whatnot. And goddamn it, is it placed perfectly in every fucking movie it's in?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, it's a badass track. So, that is the latest in our totally epic cover battles, and I think the feedback on this is going to be wildly different. I think we're going to hear a ton of diverse opinions on this, which we love. We love hearing from everybody on the hows and whys. So when you tell us in the feedback, please just don't say, the Johnny Cash version and that's all there is to it. Tell us why. Or in the reverse with Nine Inch Nails. Or maybe we even brought up points that will make you be like, oh, I never thought of that before. Really give it some thought. Let us know which version you like the most. But having said that, Michelle is the one that demanded that there's always a winner. And this week, it is unanimous that the Infectious Groove podcast officially puts its seal of approval on the original version of Hurt.
Way to go, Trent.
By Nine Inch Nails. Yeah. Trent Reznor is the latest. Trent Reznor is the latest recipient of the hearty handshake from Infectious Groove podcast.
I wish I still had my buttons. I would do the applause.
Yeah, don't worry. There's a whole thing. We're going to have new equipment by the time we record another episode where we will have all new sounds, and not all new sounds, but a bunch more sounds and whatnot. Great. So yes, I should actually do that too. I should come up with a drop for the seal of approval or whatever, like the hearty handshake or something along those
I
lines.
love it.
So anyways, that was our totally epic cover battle. And when we come back next week, we are going to have an album review. And this one is one that we've cycled around to our listeners. So it is not one picked by Kyle, Michelle, or I. Our listeners have brought an album to us. And listener D-Tension sent us a DM on Twitter quite a while back and said, hey, I want to throw this album into the mix. And so we are all going to take a listen to that and bring you our opinion on it. Now, as far as I'm aware, none of the three of us have heard this artist or this album, so this should make for a very interesting episode. But D-Tension did say that he thinks that this album is going to be up Michelle's alley. I will tell you, sir, that I have tried before and failed with albums that I thought were up Michelle's alley. So to you, I say Godspeed. And good night and good luck, and anything else that I can say in your favor. May the odds ever be in your favor.
Michelle lives in her own little alley that no one really understands.
Right, as a matter of fact. Like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
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 The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.